Welcome to Flashback Generations. We're starting up a new kind of a semi-podcast here, I guess. Maybe it'll become a podcast one day. But what we're going to do is an Imperial Assault. I don't know. We're going to cover as much as we can. We're going to go every single character by character, blow by blow. We'll try and do a few of the skirmish upgrades with it too. We're going to primarily focus on the skirmishes as opposed to the campaign, because that's where our interest is, I guess. So this is episode 1, and we're going to be talking about the Stormtroopers. Yeah. The foot troopers of the Storm.
The backbone of the Empire.
The Empire, that's it's Sai here and Pete with me.
Hello.
Right, so let's get cracking. So first off, we have two different types of Stormtroopers here. Sorry, we're just going to be talking about the regular Stormtroopers, none of the snow or heavies or whatever, not in this episode. So we're going to be talking about the two different types, which is the grey and red. First of all, we've got the grey Stormtroopers. They cost 6 points. And 2 points for a reinforcement cost, which in skirmish mode only comes into play really with the reinforcement card. Yeah. Well, so far anyway. Yeah. So they're relatively cheap. They got their surges are
6 points a card. That's pretty good.
Yeah, but their surges are one extra damage or 2 extra accuracy. Yeah. So it's very minuscule kind of upgrades there, but just trying to do the job.
Every little helps.
Yeah. Squad training while attacking, while adjacent to another friendly trooper, the trooper being a keyword here, you may reroll 1 attack die, which is a pretty strong ability, to be honest.
Yeah.
And they only have the label trooper on them, so they have no other activation abilities, so they're not brawlers or guardians or whatever. They got health 3, speed 4, defense 1 black die, attack blue green.
They're kind of bog standard man, aren't they?
Health 3 is as lame in the game as you can possibly get.
Really rubbish, but you do get 3 of them per card, so
Yes, 3 per card we should mention. Speed 4, which is
bog standard.
Bog standard, yeah. I mean there is some creatures slower than that, but
the droid.
4. Speed 4 isn't great, but it does the job. And defense 1 black die.
Bog standard, isn't it?
It's okay, yeah. It does the job.
I can only think of the hired guns who have a white die. Remove the cancel all. That's the only die I can think that's worse for defense. So they're right down there.
Or the Bantha with 0 defense.
Oh, well, there is that. Yeah, that's.
And then they attack blue green.
Yeah, that's all right.
That's a lot of range. Blue guaranteed a lot of range. Blue die being 2 to 6. Yeah. And green being at least 1 to 3 damage. So, the blue being not a damage die at all, and the green one having mixed surge, mixed damage. But not excelling at either, but doing so. The green die essentially is the mainstay of every die.
You've always got, you should almost always have the reroll as well, so both those die become a bit more valuable on these guys.
Definitely, yeah, that's a great point. So he's 6 point. Let's compare him to the red upgrade. So the red upgrade, for most purposes, is the same. He's got the same faction, so they're Imperial only. In fact, everyone is only one faction. Yeah. But you can obviously buy your upgrades to go to other factions. But so we got 9 points for the red version, and that's 3 per individual unit. But 9 points is 3 points more. Yeah. But what do we get for that? We get Surge 2 damage, or a Surge plus 3 accuracy. So these guys double the damage and are a lot more accurate, really.
Boosted version.
They also have squad training, which is the reroll that we mentioned earlier, and they have last stand. When you are defeated, choose another figure in that group. That figure becomes focused. So they actually get, essentially, they will get an extra 2 free focuses in the group. I mean, this could potentially be good, but I find that these guys all seem to die in the same turn.
But if you play them wrong, they will, yeah.
If your opponent trapsy, they're going to kill all three in the same turn, and you never get to see those focuses come out. But so they've got a little bit of boosting in their health as well. They've got health 5 instead of health 3, so they got an extra 2 pips.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty good. So if you look at a combined effort, that's health 15 as opposed to health 9.
Yeah.
So point per point, they actually seem like they're worth the same amount.
Yeah.
Except that when it comes to you get the last stand. So a last stand order means that they just get a free focus. Basically, they're going to do more damage, so they're a little bit more threatening.
Yeah.
And they certainly benefit from the reinforcements, because you get an extra one of these troopers instead of one of the grey ones.
That's one of the things that will make the reinforcements card, which we'll discuss later, worth taking, is having these guys in the mix.
They are. They're certainly. They're not bad, but apart from that, they're identical to the other type. So it is 9 points, so it is pretty much a quarter of your squad. Your squad build, though. Yeah,
it's getting there, but it depends on your list, obviously. I mean, if your list is heavily Stormtroopers, having a few of these in there is very nice, because they're a nasty surprise mixed in.
Yes.
The focus, I would say, if you should never have these guys in a position where they could all be wiped out in one round. One of them should be the other side of the map, always. So so that if the other two get blown out by a blast or whatever, at least the remaining guy who's miles away gets the focus.
Yeah, you know what? The more I've seen it, the better I think the troopers can play in individual mixed groups. So if you have these guys mixed in with another, a different detachment of stormtroopers, so they're really kind of promoting. Play a lot of troopers in your list, but so you got your green, blue, and red group, for instance. But then you want to have the squad's made up of the 3 different colours.
Yeah, 4 points in our purposes, obviously, but so I think of these little guys.
Alright, let's keep on going then. Hang on, make sure this is working. This. Off to a cracking start there, Pete, as we ran out of battery.
As usual.
Alright, let's bash on with what we were talking about then. So, the general feeling is we feel that they're very good with each other. They work well with other troopers.
Yeah, I think it'd be dangerous to try and build a squad of loads of red troopers, because they do die quite easily. Not as easily as the greys, obviously, but they cost that much more. That 3 squads of red troopers is what, 27 points?
Yeah.
It's a massive part of your squad. You've only got 9 stormtroopers for that, So I think these are an upgrade, a support almost, if you like, for the normal trooper list. So that's what I reckon anyway.
So, which other characters do you feel that they work well with? I'm going to start off the bat and just say Kayan Samos, the trooper leader.
I've got a long ramble about that. But
well, without talking about Kayan Samos, he's obviously a character who they work well with. Do you think that they work well with the Imperial Guards? The Imperial...
The Royal Guard.
The Royal Guards, yes.
I'll be neutral on that. They don't really do anything for the Royal Guard. Obviously, anybody who's played the game for a while competitively will know about the Royal Guard list, where Imperial officers are pushing the Royal Guard around, or the Royal Guard champ even.
Yeah.
The troopers don't really do anything for the Royal Guard, I don't think.
What about officers?
Get in the way, take shots for him.
Officers, droids?
Officers, yes, depending on your command card deck build, because the officer who's a leader keyword can draw down abilities out of the deck that help the troopers. I think the best thing that troopers work with is other troopers. That's what they're built for. They're built to be taken in units,
Yeah, what about Darth Vader or the big elites?
I can't think of any massive benefit they bring to him apart from being a meat shield.
No, one thing I think that they do work well with, if you've gone really elite, so you've gone Royal Champ and Darth Vader, you need some cheap boots on the ground.
Yeah.
They're pretty good for going and grabbing objectives. And if you get 6 points, guys.
Yeah, I suppose, but you only get so many. If you're taking an elite character, or if you're taking 2, you get very few troopers.
Yeah.
Out of that,
okay,
you might be better off with squeezing in 2 grey cards rather than 1 red card of troopers.
Yes. Okay, I can see that.
Just for the bodies and the guns on deck, my theory is often that if you've got tons of guns, even if they're rubbish guns, you've got options. At least you've got shots to fire right through to the end of the game, sort of thing. But my favourite is just mixing any kind of trooper with other troopers. They work really well with snow troopers, who we're not covering today, but snow troopers can be in the mix. And
they work well with the heavies too, because the heavies just give them their extra shots.
Yeah, that's it. All these guys are trooper keywords, so the snow troopers can come along and blast heals onto these guys, make them last even longer and be worth even more, you know. But yeah, troopers are great with troopers generally.
Let's talk about the skirmish upgrades. So first of all, I'll mention that there is a lot of trooper keywords, or rather there's a lot of seemingly trooper friendly keywords in there, without actually mentioning troopers, but then the pictures that depict a lot of stormtroopers in there, so you instantly get the idea that okay, this will work with the troopers. So we'll start off with the one that everyone's favourite, and the one we mentioned earlier, reinforcements. So I'll read it out. Use at the start of a round, choose one of your defeated troopers that has a reinforcement cost of 3 or less. Place that figure adjacent to any figure of its group. So
bring a trooper back to life.
Start of a round, another trooper comes back to life, and better than that, he teleports into the middle of the fray where you need him at the exact time. Full life, ready to go. Absolutely brilliant card. 2 points, and you can have 2 of them.
You can, yeah.
So 2 points. This is the 2 points out of your 15 limit.
Yeah.
I think it's rare if people have got a lot of troopers. It's rare that people would never have 2 of these in their deck.
There's a slight issue though. When this comes into play, you may be on the back foot, or you may have lost a lot of troopers. So your options for deploying him might be more limited than you imagine, because you've got to deploy him next to a friendly guy from his group.
From the same group, yeah. I've actually found personally that when I'm against the Stormtrooper group, I'm always trying to kill off the entire group, knowing the fear that this whole card could come out. And more often than not, it's actually quite evident in your opponent's face, just from the way they look at the start of the round, knowing could they use it. So it's a bit of a must-have card, but it's not impossible to deal with. Yeah.
That's why you always have one of the 3 guys, grey or red, somewhere else, so he can be the teleport homing beacon, if you like, for this reinforcement card. Much more valuable if you've got the red troopers in the grey, obviously. You can use it with either, because they both reinforce 3 or reinforcement cost 3 or less. I think you can use it with snow troopers as an aside as well. Heavy troopers are 2 dear to use it with.
The red troopers are 4 and the yellow grey ones are 3. But yeah, I mean, that makes the grey ones kind of more worth it. It is
good. I mean, it is using a whole command card, of which you've only got 15, to bring back a trooper. So, if you're really struggling for a card to put in, I'll put it in. If you're not taking very many troopers in your list, I wouldn't bother, because by the time you get to use it, half the time all your troopers have gone anyway.
Yep.
So if you go in trooper spam, it's a nice. I'd throw 1 into your deck, maybe not 2, because then you're using 2 cards to bring back 2 troopers, and troopers are generally rubbish compared to a lot of other characters in the game.
They are.
But in a situational, there'll be a few times when you're like, I've only had 1 more guy who could just stretch up. I've got this card, I can bring him back, and activate him, and away we go. I can make it to that objective, or I can get another shot off on that nearly dead ATST, or whatever it is, So it's a desperate measures type of thing, but yeah, it's a good little card, but not the be all and end all.
Next up, we're going to go with the Pete Bradley favourite. We've got the Grenadier card. I don't think I've ever seen you not take this card.
Awesome.
So this is a trooper only card.
It's great. It's chuck a grenade basically.
For an action, choose a space within 3 spaces and roll 1 red die. Each figure on or adjacent to the chosen space suffers damage equal to the damage result.
Yeah.
So
up to 3 red then.
So this isn't even an attack.
Nope.
This isn't even your attack. This is just throw a red die. So you could have a Stormtrooper attack and throw this. This is guaranteed to do at least 1 damage.
Yeah.
Maximum 3. So 1 to 3 damage. Everyone is taking a damage. What?
Yeah.
Before we actually talk about the card, what I don't understand is why isn't every Stormtrooper just loaded up with these?
Well, if I know, Si, you don't play Battlefront, but anybody who plays Battlefront will be smiling, because everybody's got a grenade in that game, and they can throw it every, 30-40 seconds or so.
Really?
So it's just grenades flying left, right and centre. This is the thermal detonator from Battlefront, basically.
Right.
But it's a one-shot. It's a 3-point card, I believe, so it's...
it is 3 points, and there's only one allowed.
It's a heavy include. It's super fluffy, because, you imagine the trooper running in and throwing that last desperate grenade and winning the game, which nearly happened to me the other week. But I think I love it just because it's fun and it's a nasty surprise. You can often have a situation where the opponent's figures are nearly dead but not quite, and you need to knock a couple more off to get the game.
The fact it's guaranteed damage is actually the strongest point about it.
That's it, yeah. You can, as Si says, if you've not ran round a corner to throw it, you can follow it up with a shot as well, which is nice. But more often than not, you're dashing in. To 3 spaces is not very far, so you need to dash in to get that stretch, to just throw it around that corner and get that guy, But yeah, if your opponent's sitting there in front of you in a nest of enemies, you can chuck the grenade and then shoot into them as well. Brilliant card, love it. But it is a 3-point card, so you might need to make difficult choices over whether to take it or not, depending on what your overall strategy is.
I agree. I think it's a good card. I personally don't take it because I think it costs too much, and for 3 points I like to have a stronger ability, I think.
Probably new orders.
But I do rate it as a good card, but I just can't bring myself to take it. Alright, the last card we're going to cover in this episode is Strength in Numbers. Use after you resolve a group's activation. You may immediately activate another group. The combined deployment cost of these groups cannot exceed 12. This is 1 point, and you can have one of them. This is not a trooper only card, so you can use this with anything. However, you have to use the combined 12 cost is actually a pretty
that dictates you're only using it with the lower tier cards like grey Stormtroopers, droids, officers, things like that. Any character is going to blow out that allowance straight away, pretty much. Because they're like 10 plus, aren't they?
Is this a really hard card to use? Because how often do you really need your 2 grey squads to activate?
Yeah, it's another situational one. If there's a massive threat sitting nearby and you really need to damage it, take it down or whatever, or there's some place you really need to get to this turn before the enemy, say, then that's when you use this. But the trouble is you're burning your activations, you're using 2 activations in one slot here.
Is it?
And often it's better to hang back until you know what the enemy's done.
Is it worth 1 point?
Yeah, it's probably worth 1 point because there will be times when it's absolutely vitally useful,
But that's like that with every card, though.
The danger is, in my early games, I used to take this card because on first reading it sounds awesome, and then I'd have it in my hand and I'd just use it just because it was there, and that would put me at a real disadvantage because I'd burnt a group of their activation.
You'd put your
and then I go, I'll use this without really thinking about it. And
then show in your hand. You pretty much put your positions in, and then then the Royal Guard champ could go in and do his brutality on everyone, basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, I can see where that goes
wrong.
So
it's a dangerous card for newer players, I think, but it's a nice include for older, more veteran players because, boys, be careful when you use it. Only use it when you need to use it.
I think it's got a place in. It's future-proof as well.
Yeah.
It's very future-proof, in fact, but it's got a place in every list. But it's a very hard one to use. The fact that it's not limited to any type of group, used for any faction, and anyone can actually use it successfully. But it's trying to use it optimally, I think, is the difficult part.
It's kind of a late game thing, where they've got 2 or 3 troopers left on and you've got 2 squads or bits of 2 squads left, and you want to really press. I'll activate this, shoot you up a bit, and now I'll activate the other one, shoot you up a bit more, and hopefully finish the game. But you're probably already winning at that point anyway.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that's the upgrade cards we're going to cover. Let's talk about the miniatures. What do you think of them?
Yeah, really good. They come in the core set, so you've got 2 poses available with the Stormtroopers. You get a ton of the stooping forward, pointing the gun pose in the core set.
Yeah.
And then they brought out a villain pack with some extra bits and goodies, where you got 3 guys who are kind of stood back, taking aim a bit more. So there's 2 poses. I think they're the only miniature at the moment that's got 2 poses available.
Yeah.
Nice to mix up your squads that way. You know, mine are generally 2 of the core set and 1 of the new guys. You know, that's a blue squad or grey squad or whatever. Yeah, nice miniatures. I've compared them to the old Star Wars miniatures figures, which are the same scale and base size.
Yeah.
They're a lot better than those, to be fair. You know, I think all the Imperial Assault figures are of a similar quality, with 1 or 2 maybe exclusions. But yeah, the Stormtroopers are a perfectly good representation.
They look very nice. Yeah, they're quite easy. You see a lot of nice paint jobs on the internet.
Dead easy to paint. Yeah, you can go very quick, white with a black wash and then a brush white. You're kind of done. Black out the guns a bit, or you can go really detailed, you know, and take your time on it. Kane Samos, he's another trooper miniature. You can spend a bit more time on him, and you know, but there's only so much you can do to a white armoured guy.
Yeah. Yeah, well, when you want to make him look really white.
Yeah. I mean, people will tell you, and they're right, that painting white properly is a nightmare, and it is. But these are quite small scale miniatures, so you can get away with it.
They look good on the table anyway, and
Yeah.
you know, they are one of the staple of the Star Wars universe.
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, well, that's episode 1 covered. Sorry for the midway through breakout, my fault.
You didn't want to do Samos then, did you?
No.
Fair enough.
No, okay, so we'll cut it there, and we'll see you in episode 2. See you guys.
Bye.